Oh, Dave, I want to have coitus with you.
But I can't do that, Julia.
Why?
Because I'm Batman.
Nostalgia. You know what's nostalgic? Sitting with your parents when you were 10 and watching Home Alone or helicoptering your with your cousins. You guys did that too, right? You know what's not going to be nostalgic and is mostly fucked up already? 2020. And if you're an adult and don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life or career or relationships, and you just want to watch R-rated comedy movies, masturbate, and then cry, then this list is for you. This list is for anyone who is looking for great R-rated comedy movies. Well, on that note, my name is Ritik, and these are the top 7 R-rated comedy movies of all time. Before we get into the list, a disclaimer: these are my favorite R-rated comedy movies. Also, some of my friends who are totally not made up thought that this is a good list. But in case you didn't see the movie you love on this list, then just leave a comment down in the comment section, because I'll be making more lists just like this one. Well, let's just get right into it. So starting off with number 7, we have Old School. Old School is one of those movies that might have a low rating, but don't let those low ratings fool you, because this movie is really better than those critic ratings, and you can see that when you check out the user ratings. Old School is about a lawyer who arrives home early one day only to find that his wife has been cheating on him. And because of this catastrophic event, the lawyer, whose name is Mitch Martin, decides that he will relive his glory days by opening a fraternity house around his old college. Mitch is accompanied by 2 best friends. Fuck, this is starting to sound like my future. Old School is filled with great comedic moments and a lovely cast. It's got Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, and Mr. Vince. I can't pronounce his last name. Sir?
Seriously. You may be asking yourself, why is this cinder block tied securely to your earmuffs?
Don't you think this is going a little far?
Now I know that I didn't give you much of a description of this movie, but it's because I want to keep this video short. So on number 6, we have Horrible Bosses. One of the main reasons I put this movie on this list is, well, this. In this movie's case, the name is self-explanatory. There are 3 friends who decide to kill all 3 of their bosses because their bosses are horrible. This also sounds a lot like my future. But not all the bosses are horrible. There is her, and she just wants to have sex with him. Her. Him. There is a sequel to this movie as well. A sequel that I haven't seen, so I got no idea whether it's good or not.
You gotta be smart.
It's gotta be worth what, 15,000? I feel like everything's gonna work out. Look how fast I'm picking out this scrap, you know? I'm moving like super fast. I can't even feel my nose.
Moving on to number 5, we have The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Why does every movie sounds like it's based on my future self? So yes, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, another self-explanatory title. Our main character Andy is played by the same actor who plays Prison Mike on The Office, aka Steve Carell. Steve Carell alone is a great reason to watch this movie. On the other hand, the length of this movie, not so much. But the cast is even more star-studded than Horrible Bosses. We've got a comedian, a second comedian, my future self, and Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men. Getting to the real point, the movie revolves around Andy, who is a virgin, and his friends or colleagues try everything they can to get him laid. And that's the whole movie. You could say this movie is the American Pie for old people. That joke wasn't even funny, was it? So on number 4, we have There's Something About Mary. I cannot think of a synopsis to give you without spoiling the story, so I am just going to read it off of Google. Ted, a geek, attempts to track down his high school sweetheart, Mary, and hires a private detective to know her whereabouts. He soon realizes that he has to compete with others in order to impress her. Yeah, that's it. Now, this movie doesn't have as many goofy moments as other movies on our list, but this movie has a great story. There are a few really great comedic scenes, and one of the best scenes of this movie is just in the first 15 minutes. But it's the story and the characters that shine here. And not just the main characters, each and every character in this movie has something more to them than they're showing. And that straight up puts watching this movie on a different level. Moving on to number 3, we have 21st and 22nd Jump Street. Both of these movies are just straight up amazing. First of all, the overall setting of both of these movies is just so good, heartwarming and welcoming that you just want to keep watching them sequel after sequel. And we put these two on this list because these movies are just great all-rounders. In the cast, you've got Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, Brie Larson, Ice Cube, and the list just goes on and on. Seeing all these big actors working all together in both of these movies is what really makes you want to watch them. And there is the story, of course. But before I go there, let me just mention this, that Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are just so good together. Seeing their comedic duo just makes me want to make a list of top 7 comedic duos of all time in movies. Definitely comment down in the comment section if you want to see something like that. The story is about Schmidt and Jenko, two good-for-nothing cops, like most cops, who go under as high school students to bust a drug racket. Now, I know Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill might not look like high school students, but the good thing is that the sequel they'd make, it's just the same thing, except in the sequel they go to a college, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that. Next up on number 2, we have Borat. Now, this movie very well deserves to be the number 1 on this list, but it's not there because I feel like while majority of the people watching this movie would love it, there will be some people who won't like jokes about women, incest, caste, creed, and color. Basically, the normies wouldn't like this movie. Also, the way this movie is set up, you get to view America as Borat, who is a journalist from Kazakhstan. The name of the movie is pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, Borat comes to America to learn the American culture, and you see him do these normal day-to-day things that everyone does, but Borat just does them very differently because he comes from a different background and a totally different culture. And that is why, even though you know that Borat is going to do unexpected stuff, seeing what he does and the way he does it is just hilarious and a subject of philosophy at the same time. I feel like this movie has a deeper meaning than just comedy. I'll talk about that in another video, probably when the sequel of this movie, which is all set to release in December this year, releases. But for now, I'll wrap it up by saying, for me, this movie is just a masterpiece. The way Sacha Baron Cohen portrays his character is just phenomenal. On number 1, we have Superbad. The title this time is not self-explanatory because this movie is not super bad. It's actually really good. But yes, this is the number 1 on our list because, again, like 21 Jump Street, this movie is an all-rounder. Except it doesn't have a sequel. It's just those R-rated comedic elements of this movie that makes it stand out. Most of us can probably relate to this movie on some level because this movie revolves around our main characters Seth and Evan, who are high schoolers and big-time nerds. To impress a particular girl, Seth forms a plan that he and 2 of his friends will get alcohol for a particular party, but because they're underage and stuff, there is no legal way for them to get alcohol. So they decide to do what every 18-year-old does: get a fake ID. But that plan just starts a series of unfortunate events for these people. The cast is star-studded again. We've got Jonah Hill, our beloved Michael Cera, who you might know him as Scott Pilgrim. We have Seth Rogen, Bill Hader, Emma Stone, the guy who plays McLovin, and many more. So if you're out here looking for a good comedy movie, definitely watch Superbad or Borat, or start with number 7 and make your way up. Whatever you want to do. But according to me and the folks here on Review Planet, these are the top 7 R-rated comedy movies of all time. Also, yes, I said folks because 2 more people have joined this little venture of mine. You'll be seeing their videos shortly. If this video helped you in any way, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Peace.